your girl was not ready.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's episode of Vlogmas. Remember when I said I wasn't gonna put the heat on in my house? That's funny. The heat's on, but now I'm in a tank top because now it's warm in here, but I was freezing. Ah, the joys. So anyways, today's episode I wanted to make short and simple and sweet. I know that I'm filming this in regards to Thanksgiving, and when you guys are seeing this video, it's December, so this could be applicable to Christmas dinners or holiday work functions or whatever type of thing you want to apply this tips, tricks, whatever video to, that's fine. But it is going to be about the anxiety around food and the holidays and things like that, because I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of my own clients struggle with this, and I think one of the biggest things is that people associate the holidays as a negative thing with food, not the holidays, but just the food part of it. And they tend to feel like they fell off or they cheated or they failed or just something negative, right? And I think that that's probably the biggest mindset thing that I've noticed with my own clients, because I feel like they have attached this negative connotation to cheating or going off of track. And instead, I wanted to give you guys some different ways to think about the holiday eating around this time of the year, because I know between, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, there's so many opportunities for work holidays and potlucks and things like that. So this video, I just wanted to kind of give you guys some little positive tidbits and helpful information, hopefully, if you are feeling nervous or anxious about the holiday foods and holiday family events. The first thing that I always like to tell people when it comes to the holidays and eating and family gatherings and whatnot is just to remember that this part of the year is a very, very small fraction of the year. It's not like we have Thanksgiving every month or every weekend, and these things are just very, very small in comparison to the big picture. So I always like to tell people to think about the big picture of things. When it comes to these weeks, I try to put it into perspective. This one little week of off eating or eating more than you normally do, eating different foods, is not going to impact your progress as much as the other 51 weeks of the year that you spend regular eating day in and day out and putting in that work, you know? So it's really more so important what you do for the rest of the year than just this one little week. One little week, one weekend, whatever, is not going to ruin your progress. So you have to think about it that way. Don't waste your time obsessing over this, and it really should be about you enjoying what this holiday is for, like being thankful, being present with your family and friends. Like if you're ruining your whole holiday or whatever because you're worried about food, honestly, there may be something else deeper going on that you may want to talk to somebody about, because this is not something that should be ruining your holiday, in my opinion anyway. I just feel like the holidays are not something that happens often. You may not get to see certain family members or friends at this time of the year, and so you should just be able to enjoy that without stressing about food, you know? So with that being said, to go into, for this example, Thanksgiving, or maybe it's Christmas or holiday party, the best tips that I always like to utilize for myself and to tell other people is to stay active that day. Because I think sometimes people can kind of like chalk it up to, oh, well, I'm just gonna eat like shit later, so who cares? I'm not gonna do anything today, or I'm not gonna track my macros or eat good for the rest of the day. And I think that may be where some people go wrong and maybe end up feeling worse about it. I personally like to, like, if I know that I'm going for a Christmas dinner or a Thanksgiving dinner, I like to keep the rest of my day as normal as possible. So go to the gym, sweat a little bit, you know, feel productive, and then I eat my normal breakfast. If you really wanted to, like, let's say that you're in a deficit right now and you're trying really hard to lose fat, I would suggest maybe having a really high protein breakfast, lower carbs, lower fat, and then before your outing or meal, make sure that you don't starve yourself. Because I think that's another huge issue that people do, is they end up not eating anything to like save calories for the end of the day, but then they end up going way overboard in the evening because they're so stinking hungry. So I would say try not to do that, and instead stay really hydrated, stay active, and just kind of eat your normal meals. If anything, and this is something that I personally like to do, I like to have like a Built bar or something that's lower in fat and carbs but still high in protein. By the way, they just came out with Built Bites on Black Friday. fire, and they're little perfect snacks, so good. The toffee almond one is amazing, and it just like kind of satisfies your sweet tooth while also filling you up a little bit more, so you're not so hungry going into this holiday meal. I think it's also important to remember that this is a time to enjoy yourself, and we're not, like I said, we're not eating pumpkin pies every weekend. You know, this is kind of the time of year to do that thing, so I don't think that you should be saying like, no, I'm not going to eat any of this stuff. Or, you know, granted, if you're cutting for like a weightlifting meet or something like that, it might be a little different, but I'm speaking to the general masses right now. This is the time to enjoy. Like, my favorite is apple pie and pecan pie, and I am for sure not going to not have some of that, you know? I just feel like this is the time to practice really that flexible dieting, and this is something that you can maybe test yourself on to say, okay, yes, I want to have the pecan pie or the apple pie, but I'm not going to have 7 slices of pie. So this kind of leads me into my next point about portion control. I think this is something that can be practiced really, really intensely on Thanksgiving or Christmas, because those are the types of holidays where people go overboard with portions. Something that they would normally eat for a turkey serving on a regular day ends up being double or triple on Thanksgiving, just because it's there. It's in your face, and it's kind of like a buffet style. And I think sometimes with buffets, it's really easy to add way more than you normally would, just because there's so much in front of you. So that kind of leads me right into my next tip of, you don't have to eat it just because it's there. And I know that's really tempting on Thanksgiving and Christmas, because those holidays have the best foods ever and the best Christmas cookies and the best pies. But I think sometimes what I even ask myself, like, okay, am I really actually hungry for this? Like, do I really need this, or am I just wanting to eat it because it's in front of me? And in that case, I would say, ask yourself, do you want a pie? Do you want a pie on Christmas? Baby sure does love pies. I don't know if you could fit up here, but you're more than welcome to come sit with me if you want. Come on. There you go. Yeah, we could sit together. So my coach likes to implement this thing called the 1 plate rule. And I guess this is kind of also going along the lines of portion control and practicing not overloading your plate. But the way that she explains this is to fill your plate just one time. So get whatever it is that you want on it, and then whatever thing that you enjoyed the most, or your favorite thing or whatever, you only get seconds of that one thing. So this is a great way for you to actually take that time, like I said, and ask yourself, am I really hungry? Do I really want seconds, or am I just eating it because everybody else is eating it? I think that's a really hard thing with Thanksgiving and Christmas, because we don't get those foods for the rest of the year. I mean, you could, but like, who's making pumpkin pie on a random Thursday afternoon, you know? At the end of the day, it comes down to remembering what this holiday is for. This holiday, while yes, the food is amazing and there's so many great holiday treats and desserts and stuff, it is about being thankful and enjoying time with your friends and family, and I think that's really what you should focus on. So if you find yourself consumed with the anxiety of food, I really would suggest maybe talking to someone, or maybe shifting your strategies. If tracking macros is overwhelming to you, you don't need to do it, and especially if around the holidays it makes it worse for you. So just something to consider. But that is what I always tell my clients: keep it simple. I would not suggest even trying to track something on Thanksgiving. Like I said, just stick to your regular things for the meals beforehand, and then just go on and enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner and get right back on track the next day. The other biggest thing that can kind of derail people is taking leftovers home and having all of these awesome things for days and days after the Thanksgiving or the Christmas meal, where I just personally like to take that one day to enjoy it, and then the next day I'm right back on track. And I feel like that just kind of keeps the rest of my week in check, instead of feeling like the Thanksgiving dinner or the Christmas dinner went on for a full week. So those are my tips and tricks to deal with eating around the holidays. And if you are somebody who lives a healthy lifestyle and your family knows that, you may get some of those comments from people like, oh, are you allowed to eat that? Or, are you sure that fits in your diet? I cannot even tell you how many times I've heard that over the last couple of years. And just remember that these people mean well, and they're not trying to poke fun at you. So just kind of laugh it off, enjoy it, and stick to what you're going to do from the beginning. Don't feel peer pressured or whatever to eat things that people force upon you. I know that's also a weird topic, because sometimes people like to force seconds or force desserts on people. So just stick to what you want. Like I said, ask yourself those questions and really remind yourself of what the true meaning of these holidays are. And that's to enjoy it. To enjoy it with the ones that you love. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, click subscribe, you know the deal. And we'll see you in the next Vlogmas.
I guess that spring and summer, they're all fine. But I've been waiting for the season that's mine. So let it come, yeah, let it